Paediatric dietitian Eve Reid spent some time with me looking at how parents can evaluate the dietary intake of their children, where to seek help, and what is normal growth. If you're worried that your child isn't growing or isn't getting the nutrition that they want, people throw around this phrase, food diary. What is a food diary?
A food diary is just a record of everything your child eats and drinks for a few days in a row. And a trained professional like a paediatric dietitian can look at that and see, are they getting enough protein? Are they getting enough iron? Are they getting enough calcium? Are they getting fruits and vegetables? Now, it's very common for young children not to eat vegetables, not to eat red meat. That's part of fussiness, if you like.
Sure.
We all are born with a preference for sweet foods, and
Yep.
meat and vegetables definitely aren't sweet.
No.
So, it's quite common for those food groups not to be eaten willingly by young children. And so when I say that a child will eat enough, they'll eat enough calories to grow appropriately for their genetic makeup.
Yes.
But they may not be getting all the nutrients that they need. And quite often I'll see young children who aren't having any red meat and aren't getting enough iron, but they're growing normally because they're getting enough food.
And so the benefit of seeing someone like yourself, a paediatric dietitian, is that you can then recommend to parents how to increase their iron intake without forcing them to eat meat?
Absolutely.
Okay.
What are other sources of iron that they could be trying that their child might like? And also to reassure them that, just because they're not getting enough iron doesn't mean that they're not growing. It's very important to look at a child's growth in order to assess whether they're healthy, because that growth is the most important and most easily accessible tool that we have to see whether a child is healthy.
Yep.
And if they're growing normally, then we know that they have a normal appetite.
Now, normal isn't always on the 50th percentile. Normal is what their genetic makeup is.
Yes.
How long do you track growth for before you can get a clear picture of whether things need to be addressed?
I would say that depending on the age of the child,
Of course.
So, when they're younger, they're growing more rapidly. So over the first few months, you go to the early childhood centre and you have your child's length and weight measured. Probably,
First time parents once a week.
the first month, then after 2 months, then maybe after 4 or 6 months, but at 6 months. And it's also important to remember that breastfed babies grow a bit differently to bottle-fed babies.
Yep.
So, if they move, it's a record over time. And so if they're a year old, you'd want to have, 3 or 4 weights over the year to have a good assessment of their growth. And as you say, normal growth doesn't mean that they're average and on the 50th percentile. It means that they're tracking approximately along a particular line on that graph in their child health record, and that that could be down the bottom and it could be up the top of that graph.
It's because we care that we notice what our children are eating. And it's this same caring attitude that makes us plot and record, because we just want to make sure.